Tailwind version 4 just dropped with some hot new things, and in this comprehensive video you get every major information about the changes in just 4 minutes. Because your time is important, and yes, new things are cool, but this video is mainly focused to the changes, because that's what's interesting, right? And the first thing is it's faster, and a lot faster actually. So let's take a look at this graphic here and we see, okay, the full build is now 3.7 times faster, incremental rebuild is 8.8 times faster, and grab your seats because the incremental rebuild with no new CSS is 180 times faster. How did they accomplish that? They improved some things under the hood like a unified toolchain and some compiler updates. And another new thing, a big new thing, is we have a CSS first config. What does that mean? That means that we don't have this Tailwind config.ts right now. Instead, we just have the normal CSS file, for example, the globals CSS in Next.js. And this is awesome because the project tree gets simpler, and I love it when the project tree gets simpler. But let's take a look at it and install it, because actually you can. And for that, I just have this simple project here set it up. But let's switch to a new branch so we can compare both. So this is now the old version 3.4 of Tailwind, and we check out to a new branch called Tailwind v4. And here we just upgrade now from v3 to v4 with this one command. Very simple, Tailwind CSS upgrade at next. And yeah, that's actually all. We just got it. Yeah, what we can't find here right now in the tree on the left side is a Tailwind config.ts file. No, it's now inside of this globals CSS file. So here we already see some Tailwind CSS v4 stuff, and you can set everything up right now inside of this CSS file. And this makes totally sense. I mean, that wouldn't make sense for files like the next config.ts or other configuration files like internationalization and stuff like that. But for this purpose, it makes totally sense because Tailwind is about styling and about CSS. So why not doing it in the side of CSS? That makes totally sense. I love this new behavior, but let's get to the changes. And a big change is actually this table, because some of the directives are now deprecated. They are just not existent anymore and they got replaced. For example, all those opacity things. So if we take a look at the code, for example, this P here. So I had this text opacity 50 here, but if we run that and look at it, this text opacity is just 100%. We can see everything. So it's now the new one, and the new one is not text opacity 50, for example. It's just text black 50, for example. This is, I would say, cleaner, but tell me how you like it in the comments. And yeah, besides of this text opacity, we got the background opacity, the border opacity, the divide opacity, ring opacity, placeholder opacity. So a lot of these directives are now not existent anymore, and are just updated with these variants, which I think is a great change. And then we have some flex shrink and flex grow, where you don't need to write flex anymore. You just write shrink or grow, so it's a little bit made more simpler. Just some simple, I think, quality of life changes you need to be aware of. But let's get to the things now that behave different. So real changes, things that are not working the same as before. But first, let me tell you that 93% of people watching this channel are not subscribed to it. So yeah, I would really appreciate if you take the time and click that small red, black or white button if you don't want to miss any future content. And yeah, the first change is some shadow behavior stuff. The default shadow is now not existent anymore. It's just normally shadow SM right now, and the shadow SM from before goes now to shadow XS, so maybe your shadows behave a little bit different. Then we have some changes with the border radius. So rounded is now rounded SM, and rounded SM is now rounded XS, so kind of the same changes as with the shadows. And then we have the blur, which is similar, like blur SM is now blur XS, so they really just changed a little bit from the measuring here. And then we got some default border color change. So before, default border color was gray to 100, now it's referring to current color, which you can set up in the CSS file. Then we have some default ring width changes. The ring width was 3 pixels before, now it's 1 pixel. Just some quality of life things. And the next thing is we have some outline none and outline hidden behavior, which was a little bit not perfect in v3, I would say. So if you set outline none, it was actually not outline none applied, it was outline 2 pixels, which is transparent. And yeah, this had some accessibility reasons to do that. But now if you add an outline none, it really is outline style none. And there's a new thing called outline hidden, which is doing the old behavior. And yeah, these were not all the changes, but all the changes that I think are very useful and that you might need to know when changing to version 4. But keep in mind, this is just a beta. Things can change, things will change. And if you don't want to miss that, stick to this channel because I will make a video about that. And thank you for watching. Bye bye.